and visited many educational facilities, driving by or walking through the campuses. There you go. Okay, you can raw a little bit. They're not all up here, so forgive me. And I've seen some incredible education. Teachers working in small groups, smiling faces, well-equipped libraries. Incredibly safe and pleasant environments for students to learn. I've seen creative spaces where principals have used hallways because of no other area for small group instruction. I've seen incredible creativity in the storage of excessive equipment because storage rooms aren't available. I've seen classrooms that are embarking on some of the most appropriate recent trends in learning. Small group activities, integrating instructional technology, large screen projection. This teacher's elementary, teaching science, an exceptional teacher, a quality program. The organization of your teachers should be applauded every moment of every day. Many CEOs would benefit from having the organizational skills of an elementary teacher. You have technology abundantly, but I want to come back to this point because technology is changing. You have many computer labs, but that's sort of a hidden issue for your future. More storage and clarity. I want to tell a story about a trip to Benton High School. Okay, raise your hand, you can say that. Well, let me tell you something I learned in a matter of minutes about the students and community at Benton High School. I walked in, and I said, wow, this is a great school. It's got some incredible architecture. It's all painted out, very ornate. Features are exemplified in better paint and all, and it looks really nice. So I went a little further and I saw, of course, red lockers. Those are the school colors, I gathered that. They've been there originally, but they're in great shape. They're painted, but there's no vandalism, there's no dents, there's no marks. The hinges look good. So I said, I immediately noticed those things. I've been in thousands of schools. So I looked at the floors. Floors are polished, the corners are immaculate. Coming from my old military days, that told me people are doing what needs to be done to make these schools look exceptional every day for those students. Then I looked on the wall and I saw these photographs, So what do you suppose I did? I reached up and I just wanted to see if they're bolted to the wall or they just hung there. If you know your students, they're just hung there, just like you do in your living room. Now I ask anybody here, how many people would take your pictures off your wall and hang them in a hallway where 900 students at the high school level are going to pass every hour of every day? That tells me more about the quality of family, values of your students, care they take in education and their environment than any school I've literally been in, because I've never seen that at the high school level. They deserve the applause. Went to some high school teachers' rooms, always clean, neat, professional, looking sharp. Their areas reflect who they are. And that's what this whole issue is about. But some of you may not know you have a Hilliard Technical Center that's also part of your program. I went through there today. I was going to see every school I could see. I love visiting schools. I love seeing education. And sure enough, I saw your EMT program. I saw your robotics program. And I saw multi-screen, multimedia occurring in some of the classrooms. Yet, when I went back to the high schools, I saw your teachers doing the same things, using projection devices and the like. But what I want to do is focus, and thank you for lowering that noise. I want to focus for a moment, though, on what isn't seen. You could stop this discussion right now and say, hey, good job, Frank. But I want to tell you what the facilities are doing underneath this big equation of education and education in the future. Let me start here. Sort of a small group sitting area located in the front of a school. Very nice. Except when you notice it's next to a garbage can and a computer area and a printing machine, because there's no other area in the building. This area surprised me. I thought, isn't this nice? A sitting area for students. They can line themselves in sort of a commons and talk and chat, until I realized there are 60 students waiting to go to the one bathroom. I know how hard it is to predict when I'm going to want to use the facilities. Heaven forbid if I had to schedule it down to a 15-minute interval. Boiler rooms, a compliment to your staff. I walked into that boiler room and I've seen many of them. Immaculate. Anybody who's been in that business or in the military knows you keep clean equipment and you know if there's a mistake because you'll see a leak. That's a compliment to your staff, although that's a 100-year-old boiler. When you look at the electrical service, however, it reads a little note on there. Inspect brushes once a month. If sparks are noted, call maintenance. Brushes need changing on that 100-year-old boiler. Now you could say to yourself, okay, we're just going to replace that boiler someday. Yeah, we can do that. Until you ask the next question. The pipes that run the water from that boiler started out this big. Now they're less than the size of a dime. Changing that boiler is not simply the boiler. It's an entire refit. But the question is, will it be fitting for education of the past, or will it be refitted for education of the future? And oh, by the way, the maintenance person working on that boiler sits on the left-hand side, and the PE teacher in the boiler room on the right-hand side. Let's look at this picture. Teacher teaching speech, special needs program, resource area. I look down immediately because I know curriculum, and they're teaching the right curriculum in the right way to those kids in the right arrangement. Then I noticed on the wall, well actually I heard it quite in advance, the fan running, probably with the volume of a light small lawnmower. So I asked myself, how is a child going to learn to speak correctly when there's a lawnmower noise in the background? And then sure enough, the walls themselves only go up to 4 feet or 2 feet below the ceiling, so the noise from that fan permeates 3 other educational spaces. The site, unfortunately, is small. It does collect a great deal of snow and makes it difficult to access the playground. But the slope is well defined. Again, unfortunately, it slopes directly into the building. And as a result, the footing inside is damp, excessively damp, causing deterioration. Oh, I forgot. That speech teacher is down in that same area, about 10 feet from that wet wall. Let's keep going, and I'm not trying to be negative by any means. You've seen what I've appreciated about your district, but I want to give an honest, and I believe it's my duty to give an honest perception of what the facility has to offer and what the facility can constrain from happening. This hallway is nicely decorated. But at the top of that hallway is an instructional space because there are no others. Ordinarily you might say, wow, that's a great creative use of space, until you try to talk in that area with the reverberation off the concrete block, high gloss walls. It would be like singing. Well, some people might sing in their shower, but you sure wouldn't want to conduct an educational activity in that kind of reverberation. Pretend you have an auditory learner or a student who needs English as a second language, or suppose they're auditory or distractible, ADD. That's not the environment you're going to look for. This is an interesting series. Charming children, great educational instructional program, and this student's working on the floor learning something, and very, very happy. That's what I love to see. These children are working on some of the most recent instructional technology softwares. And sure enough, you'll notice they're much smaller, and they're in the classroom. Remember we saw those computer labs? I'm going to come back to that. They're in the classroom working on laptop instruction. From this vantage point, I noticed 2 other important issues. In the back, you see a large screen for projection video like we're using here tonight. And up in the corner, you'll notice a speaker. Very important. More schools are using projection video, of course, more technology and computers, and speakers. But what's the facility issue here? All of this is aligned in front of the projector video because of one electrical outlet. So as a result, those kids are already 10 or 12 feet from the projection screen, and the rest of the class is another 15 to 20 feet.